Welcome back, guys. Today is just going to be a quick video, a book I read recently. I wanted to share just a couple anecdotes from it. The book was Citizen Coke. It examines Coca-Cola from a couple different angles, from their environmental impact, from their capitalistic impact, the history they've had on regulation throughout the years. I mean, they were founded 150-ish years ago. A ton of the regulation and a ton of the laws that have been put in place covering soda distributors and the larger food manufacturing industry in general have been greatly influenced by Coca-Cola. I liked how the author looked at Coke. It wasn't so much critical, it was kind of here are the facts, here's one side of the argument, here's the other side of the argument. Let the reader decide whether Coca-Cola had a positive or negative impact on all these different areas. It's a good book because a lot of what you read about Coca-Cola talks about how great at market strategy they are, about how they're this great brand, they're one of the most recognizable, possibly the most recognizable brand on the planet. And rather than singing all those praises that everyone else seems to have done in the past, this author examines how Coke has affected the world, not so much how the world sees Coke. It was unique, and really, it was fascinating. I don't have any really big life lessons from this one. I read it a couple weeks ago. I've read a couple books since then. It's one of the last books I read in 2016, so my memory of it is a little bit hazy. I will say I spent more time on it than I initially thought I would because I found the topic so intriguing. I do have two quick anecdotes, good examples of what I thought were innovative strategies or innovative deployments of Coca-Cola's market strategy. Number one. In the early 20th century, and I didn't know this was news to me, there was a huge crusade against caffeine. People looked at it as a drug. Caffeine does in fact come from coca plants, which also produce cocaine, which is very illegal, so I've heard. In response to the movement, the government made added caffeine illegal in all products. Now, if you can imagine, Coca-Cola without caffeine, that'd be like coffee without caffeine. I mean, I know they sell caffeine-free Coke, but so instead of trying to fight the government on this law, try and get the whole law repealed, they came up with what I thought was an innovative way of kind of sidestepping the law, going around it. They said that caffeine was actually an integral part of their product, that without caffeine, they don't actually have Coca-Cola, they have something else. By arguing that, they could say that we're not actually adding caffeine to anything, therefore it's legal, and therefore we shouldn't have to mess with our product. They were so good at arguing it that the judge agreed Coke didn't have to stop selling caffeinated Coke. Number two is that during World War I, when the government was rationing everything from rubber and steel to food products like flour and sugar, Coca-Cola knew that it would have to either lessen the amount of sugar it put in its drinks or sell less Coke. No way were they going to sell less Coke. So they modified the recipe a little bit, put less sugar in it, and then marketed the lower sugared Coke as patriotic, saying they were following the rules, they were trying to help the country win the war. Therefore, them leaving the sugar out of their Coke makes them good guys. Alright, I guess I have a bonus anecdote, bonus story for you. I just went and looked at my notes, found this one, thought it would be cool to share real quick. So Coca-Cola's recipe, its secret recipe, uses a lot of saccharin. In the early 20th century, it was kind of hard to come by saccharin. So whenever Coca-Cola came across saccharin or a company that produced it, it bought a ton of it. One of the companies that it was buying from in the early 1900s, a little chemical company called Monsanto. So in 1903 and 1905, Coca-Cola found itself a little short on saccharin, and it bought the entire supply that Monsanto had. At the time, that was a small company. If you don't know who Monsanto is, you should Google them. Very interesting, very controversial company. They're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, chemical company in the world. I have my own feelings on Monsanto. You guys don't care. This isn't the place to talk about it. If you want to know more, look it up on the internet. Okay, so I have one more anecdote. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. I don't have anything more to talk about. Thanks again for watching. Again, the book is Citizen Coke. I'll link it below. I'll have a quick review on it that I'll link below too. And I'll see you next time.